Let me ask you a question. What came first? The chicken flock being decimated by bird flu, or egg prices shifting due to Colorado's new cage-free egg rules? You will hear conservatives in this state say that the reason that we're paying so much for eggs is because Democrats passed a law requiring cage-free eggs as of this year. Our Steve Steger loves him some eggs, and he also loves him some fact-checking, so he's on a roll.
Colorado is turning an old cliche on its head because eggs certainly aren't cheaper by the dozen.
This impact on prices that we're experiencing is really a direct input of the impact of high path AI, or highly pathogenic avian influenza.
Hollis Glenn is the Deputy Commissioner of Operations for Colorado's Department of Ag, and he's talking about a rash of bird flu wreaking havoc on the state's commercial flocks of egg-laying hens.
It's a fatal disease for poultry. The laying hens and the flocks of our producers have been tremendously diminished. The supply and demand is really kind of the driving factor on why we're seeing the increase.
More than 6.2 million egg-laying hens in Colorado had to be killed because of that disease.
All of our flocks have had to be depopulated, and we are in the rebuilding process.
Bill Skebby heads the Colorado egg producers representing the state's commercial egg farms. He says the flu outbreak came at the worst possible time.
Steve, I think we've got a perfect storm here.
He blames the increase in prices on a number of factors: the bird flu, COVID,
Inflation, the cost of fuel, the cost of feed, the cost of labor, all those things that are associated in the production of eggs.
Many have suggested Colorado's new law requiring egg producers to give hens more space is driving up the cost too. It started on January 1st. Both Glenn and Skebby say egg producers created that space months before the new law took effect.
Our farms have met that criteria. They have their act together. We just don't have the hens.
Skebby does say, though, that the new law, which requires all eggs sold in the state to come from hens in those special conditions, is creating a bit of a supply problem with the state's flocks depleted.
That means we need to start finding eggs to supply the Colorado market from the same type of environments. Not every state has the cage-free or the enhanced environment to bring into Colorado while they're serving their populations right now in their own states.
It's going to take a long time to get Colorado's egg supply back to where it was. Skebby says we'll start seeing some egg production by May. Probably won't be the same level it was before. The state will go fully cage-free, by the way, by 2025. When this law was passed back in 2020, the egg producers estimated it would add about $1.50 to each carton of eggs by the time Colorado was fully cage-free. But as you could tell, a lot of variables involved in that, so it's not clear if that estimate from all the way back in 2020 is going to be realistic when we move into 2025, now knowing the new shape of the market with all these problems created by avian flu.
Yeah, and inflation across the market. That was kind of the best explanation that I've heard, that like our producers were like ready to go, but then where do you find a whole new supply of people who didn't expect that they'd be shipping eggs to Colorado?
And now you've got the added level of the law as well, saying you've got to find a hen who's raised in that same environment. You can't sell an egg unless that hen is in that same environment. There are only a handful of states that do this way, and they're already serving their own populations. 51 million hens were killed in this entire bird flu outbreak so far this year.
Depopulated.
They were depopulated.
Yikes. All right. Thanks, Steve.